Hello madam. In this video I will be explaining and identifying PC components. Okay, first PC component is the case. So we also call it casing. So the casing is the outer shield of all the PC components. So all the PC component will be mounted onto the case. So there are many type of case. There could be window panel case, and it could be uh, normal case, and it comes in many sizes. It could be ITX, mini ITX, and as we can see here, this is the structure of one type of example of the case. Normally there will be cooling fan mounted behind of the case, and front will be the DVD panel, or some cases have USB ports for input. Next, motherboard. This is the motherboard. Is the main component of PC, which means all the other components will be installed to the motherboard. So for example, this is the RAM slot, as we can see, and this is the processor CPU unit installation area. The socket, we call this socket, and these are the IO, input and output. We also call it IO shield, and this is the PCI line, where we will be inserting the uh, graphic card or network card, and beside there are SATA ports located here. SATA ports which will be used to connect the hard disk or other drives, and this is the 24 pin socket connection place, which the main power supply will be connected here to power the motherboard. Next is the processing unit. This is the brain of the PC, and there are two main brands who are holding the market, which are AMD and Intel, and both of the brands have different type of sockets. It means if for Intel they will be normally using LGA sockets, but based on the generation of the Intel processor, and for AMD they will be using AM4 or AM5 sockets. It's also based on the CPU generation, and CPU is very important to process any task that may throw into the CPU. Without CPU, the computer won't be working. Next, on the CPU, as the CPUs do all the tasks we give to the CPU, it will start to become heat. So we need a CPU cooler. So this is the look of the CPU cooler, and the bottom part of the here, it will be connected, attached to the CPU with using thermal paste, which allow the CPU to transfer the heat to this cooling, and this fan will be rotating, pushing air, cool the CPU at the ideal level. So there are also another type of there are two ways for the CPU cooler to work. One is using air, one is using liquid cooling. So besides that, this is the for each CPU there are different type of uh, installation way. Intel uses this way and AMD is this. Next we'll be going for the graphic cards. So graphic card main purpose is to process anything has to do with the visual output, image, user interface, or GUI or videos. So there are two types of GPUs. They are dedicated GPUs, which I mentioned earlier, which will be installed connected to the PCIe, and they are also integrated GPUs. So integrated GPU means the GPU is already integrated with the CPU. So both of the CPUs manufacturer have their type of iGPU. So if for AMD, normally they have a U at the behind, can identify. For the Intel, if I'm not mistaken, there is an I behind it. So we can from there. So that CPU, that PC no need a dedicated GPU. The integrated GPU can support the basic displays or video outputs. Next is the also the important part of a CPU build, which is the random access memory. Is also known as short-term memory. So as I shown for this, it will be located beside the CPU, the motherboard, and they are now current generation is the DDR5 generation. So it started with DDR2, DDR3, DDR4. Current generation is the DDR5. Is the fastest generation. So they are not reverse compatible with the previous generation because their pins are different. Okay, next I will go for the storage. So in computer we can find only three type of storage. So the old times we use HDD, hard disk drive, as this is the hard disk drive, is bigger in size. Now the after that is came the solid state drive. As we can see, this is solid state drive. So solid state drive don't have moving mechanisms. Is act like memory card. And the latest one is the NVMe SSDs, which can be installed direct to the motherboard and also provide more higher transfer and reading rate. Next is the power supply unit, and this is also a crucial part, and we must be careful when selecting. We must make sure we use the correct type of power supply which is needed for the motherboard and with the correct current rating, because power supply will be running for 24 hours. And as we can see here, the main function is to powering the component and provide power to CPU and GPU. This power supply also will provide direct power to the GPU using the 6-pin or 12-pin connectors, and the other purpose is to regulate the voltage at the idle level. And actually this power supply take the AC out input and convert it into DC output, because the motherboards all use DC output, and also ensuring clean power as the power supply maintain the integrity of the hardware. Next is the monitor. So monitor is the uh, main output for the CPU, as it will interact with the user and display what all the command and prompts we give to the computer. Next is the input devices. So input devices are there are many, so I only listed four of them. The main one, which are keyboard and mouse. Without keyboard and mouse we cannot interact with the computer. Next is the microphone, which is used for sound recording, and the next is the webcam. As we can see, this is a Logitech brand webcam, which is also an input which capture our video and send it to the computer to process. And that's all the basic components of a computer. Thank you, madam.